Right, welcome to
Dang.
Slam. Stress less, automate more. Hosted by JRFC and KB. This podcast is your go to resource for surviving and thriving in today's fast paced work environment. Whether you're working from home or in the office, we bring you actionable insights, smart automation tips, and workplace strategies to help you stress less and get more done. So for me, JR, I've spent years working in major BPOs in ID Park, specializing in quality operations and operational excellence. My focus has always been on optimizing process, enhancing team performance, and driving continuous improvement to ensure top-notch results. How about you, FC?
Thank you, JR. Throughout my career in the BPO sector, I've had the distinct privilege of navigating a multifaceted landscape, wearing not just one but a diverse array of hats. This very unique experience has afforded me a comprehensive understanding of the intricate support ecosystem that underpins the successful BPO operations. From the foundational aspects of training and quality assurance to the data driven informed decisions as a reports analyst, and even extended into the vital realms of human resource and recruitments, shaping the talent that fuels our success. Beyond that, I've also managed technical backbone of IT, the maintenance and utility functions. And finally, I also have or delved into a little bit of lead management. So all of the support departments throughout in a BPO, I have uh, journeyed, conquered, and ventured uh, all those. And with that, I know that Slam isn't just a solution; it's a lifestyle. How about you,
Sounds
Kay?
Hi, my name is KB, and I've been in the BPO industry for more than a decade now. Started as a customer service representative and found my way to climb the corporate ladder. Um, Started as a quality analyst, training uh, team manager, and business consultant manager in a various industry, such as telco account, cable vertical account, sales for publishing account, as well as travel account. And today, I'll share you my experience on with the BPO industry. So we're going to dive into an important topic today on how to successfully apply for a BPO jobs in Cebu for those aspirants or new aspirants, or for those tenured BPO agents, how you can move or transition from BPO to a remote virtual assistant role. So this we talk about how can you craft a killer resume to acing your interview, and I also touch on employment statuses in the BPO industry for the aspirants. This is for them to know or for you to know before you're signing a contract. So let's start first. Drafting your perfect resume. So your resume is your first impression. Any company that you want to apply, whether you're applying for a BPO role or a remote VA job. Your resume should highlight only the relevant experience, skills, and achievements. So, here are some tips. So, to make sure that your resume is concise, so you keep it concise. So maybe you can keep it 1 or 2 pages max. That would enough. And again, I will emphasize this. Highlight only relevant to the role. Highlight the relevant experience. Um, Maybe you focus on customer service. and focus on customer service or your experience related to customer service. Sales can be sales, support, admin, or any experience with CRM tools. And when highlighting your experience, it's best for you to use measurable achievements. Let's say here for customer service role, if if you just want to put there handled customer queries, much better if you do it this way. Um, maybe resolve 90% of customers' query in the first interaction. I think it sounds better compared just putting there handling customer queries. And always tailor your resume for the job. Customize it based on the job description and include your technical and soft skills. Both BPO and VA require this. Same goes with multitasking, communication, or maybe your tech skills, like Excel can be one, or CRM platforms such as Zendesk, or any specific tool. Example, GDS tool for travel. And but if you are a fresh graduate, aspire to join in a BPO industry, do not worry because I know that you're thinking I don't have any experience to relate to the role, right? So just highlight any transferable skills such as problem solving, communication, and adaptability. Okay. So what I usually do regarding creating resume, I do understand that sometimes we use LinkedIn, we use Indeed in terms of applying a role, right? We tend to apply different role. So question there, do I need to create 1,000 resume? That's too tiring, right? But you need to. So what I did before is I use AI. Remember, whether you're using a chat GPT or a co-pilot, there's a plus icon there, right? Where you can upload a document. So you need first to create your resume. You can create a resume, be detailed as you can, because this will be your base resume. So all you need to do is upload it to your AI. Just click the plus sign there. You can use upload from computer if you're using Chat GPT or upload for Copilot. Now you have your resume there. Then copy the roles and responsibility of that specific job that you want to apply and paste it there on your AI prompt. You can say such as tailor my um, resume based on this role. Make sure to highlight only relevant skills. You can do that. It will create for you. Somehow, this AI will generate a new resume that is tailored to that role. That will help a lot, especially if you're applying various industry or account. Because if you say BPO, there's a lot of BPO type. If you say VA, there's a lot of VA type, right? Depends on what type of role that you will be applying to. Okay, I think we're good with how we can craft your resume. So let's move now. How can you ace your interview? So once your resume gets you in the door, because you use AI for that. So luckily, a company responded to your resume. Now you will move to your interview. So here are some tips. So common BPO interview questions. So how can we do that? Can any one of you give me the most common question for a BPO interview?
Always. It's always tell me about
Tell me
yourself.
about yourself.
Exactly. Tell me about yourself. So when an interviewer asks you to tell me about yourself, make sure to keep it short and professional. Mention your name, experience, skill, and why you are a great fit. So no need to like mention your company, the exact name of company roles. Maybe you've been into hand a company. So do not mention that. Just tell them, I mean, keep them in a mystery so that they have also a, let's say here, a time or a space for them to ask questions. Instead of narrating all your experiences, you can say that I've been in a BPO industry for a decade, and I started as a customer service down to for this industry. That's it. Sometimes there are interviewer, because this is a fast-paced interview. They do not tend to listen the entirety of your experience, because they can see that on your resume. Remember, so right. So keep it concise. And anyway, what they want to assess here is your communication. If you can really, I mean, especially for those aspirant to join the BPO industry. So can you think more? What's the next common question?
No, like I would just like to add on the topic
Oh,
of
go.
or tell me more about yourself. Like, so I've interviewed applicants too, right, that are applying in my field, and sometimes I just ask that, yes, to gauge comms and like. Yes, you're on point with, do not mention the things that are already in your resume, because we usually asking for the uh the skills that that you've acquired along the way, potentially, like grit and all that, like your drive, where your passion lies. So there's no standard to go to, like there's no one size fits all kind of answer to that, so it's just you laying out kind of the non-tangibles, or the things that you can bring to the table as far as attitude and drive and willpower goes. So, and yeah, sometimes I just ask that for failure because it's usually being asked. So there. To your question earlier, what other questions? I don't know, like, uh,
The only thing I
why
can
do you
think
leave
is,
the company? Yes, go
yeah,
go.
that's the same. Yeah.
Same, right?
Yeah.
Why do you
Why did you
want to
leave the
work?
company? Yeah.
Why do you
Yeah,
leave
yeah,
the
something
company?
like
Yeah,
Why
that.
you left the company?
yeah.
Yeah.
Mostly for especially for tenured one, they will ask you why do you left your previous company. But for a newcomer, it can be also why do you want to be work in a call center or BPO or VA role. So for this, for previous company, it's best that do not give any negative about your previous company. Just tell them that, I mean, you can be as honest as you can, but lay down all the good cards, not the bad cards. So you can say if you don't like your manager or your supervisor, then you can say that I'm looking for a new environment that fits my, let's say here, fits the, I mean, the environment or your ideal environment. Or it, if it's salary, do not say that they give you a very low salary. Maybe you're looking for a greener pasture. But if the question is somehow why do you want to work in a BPO industry or a VA role, focus on your career growth, skill development, or ability to handle customer service or administrative tasks. Same goes with why do you left the company, right? You can say that for you there's no growth there. You're stagnant for 2 years. Maybe I'm looking for a role that I will grow, right? Especially this is a new organization. Let's say here, it's a newly established organization. I know that I can grow here well, right? You can mention that one. And also, especially for customer service, customer service or leadership role, there's always a question how you can handle stress. let's say here, conflict within your team for leadership role or for customer service. How can you handle difficult customer? So if the questions is like a this is a scenario, so it should be answered based on your experience. The best advice for that is use the STAR method: situation, task, action, result. This is for you to have a structured response. Okay. So also for technical and language assessments, most BPO will test your English. Not only BPO industry, also in a VA industry, even though that it's VA, but if you're into a customer service industry, VA type lang. So there's always English proficiency. Typing test also, customer handling skills also. So this is somehow in terms of your interview, it's you're probably not confident, right? So what I usually do with that one is, again, you can use your AI, right? You can create, so you have now, since you have now the common questions, you also have your resume there uploaded, right? So your AI has this, what do you call that, FC, when they already have the memory of what you have loaded
Yep.
to your AI, right?
Yeah. Yes. Or
So,
recall.
okay, so your AI now has an idea who you are, right? So you also have I mean, the role that you want to apply. You can put there, if you want to study more or prepare more for your interview, you can ask AI for this role, what will be the possible question? Then the AI will give you the result. Once they give you a result, you can ask the AI to create a script on how you can answer the tell me about yourself question. So now you have the script. So it's hard for you now, how to do it, right? For BPO, you can practice that one, but for VA industry is more on recording. They will ask you to create or record your session or those questions. They will give you questions. It's up to you how you're going to answer it, but you need to record it through Zoom or Loom video. So I would advise to have your phone ready, and you can download an another tool called InVideo AI. With this one, you can put your script there. Once you put your script, your phone just below your camera on your monitor, where you're also looking at the monitor at the same time and the camera is facing you. So now you put the script there, you adjust. It's like nashi mudagan, like script mudagan, and you can set that how fast it is based on how you talk.
Like
So
a prompter.
you can customize that. Yes?
Like a prompter.
Yeah, yeah, the same. But naka-nice niya kay sometimes if you cannot adjust the pacing, maulahi or maguna, right? So here, I would advise na try to play it a couple of times for you to adjust the speed based on how fast you talk. Okay. So, just a final tips for your interview. Um, Always dress professionally. Even though that this is done virtually, still dress professionally. That's your first impression too during the interview. Be mindful of your tone and be confident. I mean, be confident. So research also the company. It's best that during your interview you can highlight that. This will give them impression that you are interested because you research all about them, especially touching their core value, especially if they will ask you why, let's say here concentrates, right? That's a bit, I mean, if you research enough, you have their mission vision, you can say that when I research about your company, I came across to your mission vision and resonate more to me. So somehow like that. Or I like your mission and vision. So And always for virtual interview, always make sure you have, of course, a stable internet connection. Okay. So now just a little bit on understanding BPO employment for those newcomers and what to expect or for those aspirants. So in a BPO industry, regardless where you are, so we do have we have the regular employment or full-time employment, right? This includes benefits such as HMO, paid leaves, government contribution, and job security. So usually, um, this is a full-time job, but sometimes you will. I mean, most of the time, you will be regularized after 6 months. So you need to prove yourself first for that 6 months. So there will be a couple of what do you call that? What do you call that? FC again, JR. Um, where you will be performance. Forgot the term. It's at the back of my
Evaluation,
mind.
Evaluation,
probationary.
Yeah,
probationary,
something like that. There will be an evaluation. Maybe your first month evaluation or the third
Like
month
third and fifth
evaluation.
month, third and
appraisals,
fifth month review.
Uh, oh yeah, review. Right, correct. Performance review, right, or appraisal review. So
yep,
that's
Yeah.
different. Company use different terms, but somehow that's the idea. So you will be so during that one before you will get regularized, and you will be on a provisionary employment. There are also some companies, if you really excel as early as 3 months, you will get regularized. Mostly that will be after 6 months. We also have, especially for as an independent contractor for a VA industry, we have project based or contractual based. So this is somehow common for part timers. So or those accounts that are seasonal. We also have freelancing, or we called it independent contractor. This is for the VA roles. So here, you don't have any contract to the company. Probably they just give you an information about them, how much you will get. But for this company, you don't have any benefits at all. But the best thing there is it's a higher pay, and the pay is very flexible, right? There's no deduction. If let's say you sign for a contract of 50K and payable in two cut off for the month, 15/30. So on the 15th, you will receive 25K. On the 30th, and you will receive 25K. So that's the best thing about an independent contractor, especially if you already have a BPO industry job and you want to earn more, you can have two jobs as long as it's not conflict and you can manage it. So just to let you know, for salary expectation for BPO industry, especially for those aspirant, maybe runs from 15K to 20K, depends on a BPO industry. But maybe for experienced agents, especially in tech support or a more specialized role, you can probably get 25 to 50K. And of course, for remote job, depends on your experience too, but usually 20 to 40K. So the perks there and the challenges in in a BPO, I mean, working in a BPO industry or remote work is, of course, pros. Let's start with the pros. It's competitive salary compared to local industry. There's always career growth, um, international also, and international work experience, and great benefits too. So, unlike for those, if you work in a, let's say here in a hardware store, probably they're not paying your your government mandatory. So, but for expect that for a BPO company, it's always there. And the problem here, or or the cons of working in a BPO industry or remote or work is mostly you will be work during night shift and depends on the account. Uh, it's a high pressure environment. And sometimes this is an issue. A job stability concern for contractual roles is also there, especially for VA. Although we can say that you're already secure, or once you get in, you're stable, but sometimes it's not, right? I mean, we don't know what will happen. Sometimes there are account will close. Then if you have a new, I mean, other account that you can move to, that's a good thing. But sometimes there always be a floating. I think
Right.
that's it for me.
Well, that's why they have to, to watch the episodes that we're putting in so that they can be more competent, and in terms of job security, make it less of a concern, because part of the topics that we cover here are things that would make them more valuable to the company and to the future companies that will they'll be applying, right?
Right.
So
Right.
that's why you have to tune in to our episodes.
I have a few questions for our speaker, Kay. How did you make the jump from BPO to becoming a VA? How did you prepare mentally, or um, did you plan uh, to gather experience first as a BPO, as a call center agent, then transition to VA, or is it something that is necessary? Or tell us more about how you make that transition.
Yeah. I didn't have chance to apply in a VA industry during its peak, where joining the industry is easy, right? I joined the VA industry where the market is already saturated. And when I transitioned, I was thinking, with my experience in the BPO industry, it's easy for me to transition. It's easy for me to look for a job. So I resigned right away without any preparation. Because I know I saw a lot of hirings or posts looking for leadership in industry, those things. So I just resigned. After that, I even went on sabbatical leave. I call it sabbatical leave for a month, not
Yes,
looking for a
sounds
job.
familiar. We'll
So
get to it later.
later, the chika moment. So anyway, after a month, I tried to apply. I start applying one, two, three, but it's hard. The market is very saturated. I did it the way how I applied in a BPO industry, but it seems that their process is somehow similar, but they're very strict with resume. They need to make sure that it's really fit. What are those? If you're really fit for this, because there's a lot of competition that and your competition are already established their name in the VA industry. So it's really hard. If you are the company, are you going to hire a team lead in a BPO versus a team lead in the VA industry? Right. So they will always pick the VA industry, right? So it took me 4 months. I played around because I was tired. I mean, I listened to or watch reels in terms of how I can effectively apply in a VA industry. I applied that, but it's too tiring because I need to tailor my resume, because if it's not tailored, it's either that they will, I mean, you will not get a response from a VA industry. They will not call you. But somehow, if they like your resume, it fits to their role, that's the time that they will contact you for an interview. But if it's not, dead ma, labay sa basurahan ng imuhang resume. So, So that's what I did. Now the problem here is the interview. Typical BPO, we tell them everything, but for VA industry, they just want a glimpse of your experience. Any way they can show it. I mean, especially if you're talking to Americans, they don't have much time to listen for your interview, your explanation in an hour. 15 minutes will do, or 30 minutes will do. They are very strict with their time, so that's why just tell them a run through of your experience, and that's it. So it's really hard. Sometimes there's a lot of exam. They will rank you based on your exam. I even applied once as a manager for a SaaS account. Um, I am down to presentation with their CEO, since I there's top two top two applicants can only proceed to the presentation with the CEO, where you don't have any idea of the account. They will just give you um give you the data. Their data is very messy. Then you do your analysis and how you can help them. And sometimes, especially um, foreigners, Americans, British, they prefer girls. So there you go. But eventually, I landed to a VA job, and this is in line to my mm, professional profession. So they accepted me. Fake it until you make it, and I found one. So actually, the VA role that I have now is I don't have any experience, but I know the roles. A role. I research about it. So I just be honest to the CEO that I don't have experience, but I have an idea, and I cite all my ideas. It's hard. It took me 4 months to 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 transition, but once you get in, uh, the fruit of your
Right.
labor, you will start harvest it. Right, the pay is really nice.
Right, and I agree. You don't have to have the experience to go to like as long as you put value to what you can bring to the table, but in during the
Correct.
interview. I think that's the reason why they have interviews in the first place, or they hold interviews in the first place rather than just looking at resume, because they can see everything from your resume, and it's your job to put everything to sell yourself in your resume. And the fact that there's still an interview on top of that is to get more out of you. How can you bring value to my business? Because at the end of the day, it's still business. You're applying for a business, not like some random individual that doesn't have a job, doesn't have a business. These are business owners, or these are decision makers, and at the end of the day, they want to hear something concrete from you, right? Although there are occasional siguro they're just gonna use your idea, which we talked about in our last
Correct. Yeah.
episode, using your ideas to their advantage. But it's mostly asking. So that's where how you navigate the questions. You want to keep it vague, but you want to make it goal driven, and goal driven means like the goal towards improving the business,
Correct.
because at the end of
I
the
mean,
day, they're spending for you, right? You're a cost to that business.
correct. I agree with that, Jr. I think this is. Thank you for sharing that. By the way, I think that's how you set apart from the other applicants, right? How can you bring value to the organization, especially if the competition there is real, right? Let's say there's a 10 years experience versus 5 years experience, but it's best also for you to include that how you can put value to their organization. And especially in a BPO industry, you're talking to employees, right? But in a VA industry, you're talking to the stakeholders, CEO, owner of the company. So that makes it different.
Good. It's good.
Right.
It's good to know. But another question in the relevance to years in experience and making your resume tailor fit to whatever VA industry you'd like to apply to. One question from me would be like, is it which would be more advantageous for you to write down every company you've been with, because sometimes that might look bad on you, or to leave it out? What would be the best advice for those who have a plethora of experience of different companies, um, trying to apply to either BPO for you, JR, and as a VA aspect, or as in the VA side for you, Kay? Um, what would be more advantageous?
I think you can, even though that the 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 experience does not really relevant or has a different role, as long as you can establish it, how you can relate it to your the role that you're applying, you can put there. But if it has a negative, you try also to assess, try to one step ahead of the interviewer. Try to ask yourself, what are the potential questions for this? If somehow, let's say here you have an experience, but it's only 2 months, then might as well not put there, right? So it might open a can of worms, right? If you cannot have a solid answer, if they will ask you a question why you stayed there for only 2 months, then much better not to include it. So in terms of resume, you can put everything if you are confident that you can defend it. But if somehow there is a possible question that you cannot answer, might as well do not include it. Or let's say here, any information that is not related to your, I mean, to the role, might as well do not put it. Remember, in terms of your resume, they will not read if you have 4 pages. I tried that 4 pages.
Mm.
I seldom receive feedback or a response for that. But
Details.
when you put
Yeah.
there 2 pages, maybe they will reply. So especially if you're applying for, let's say you're in an industry where your course is not related, might as well do not put there your educational background. But if you're applying which is related to your educational background, then you can put there. Let's say you're applying for a health industry VA, then you're a graduate of nursing, then probably you can put there. But as much as possible, lay down all the good cards. Just the good cards.
Your take
That's
on
it
it,
from me.
JR.
All right. So, thank you, Kay, for sharing those wonderful insights. For, like, for, if everyone um who would like to jump from being in the BPO to a VA, this episode is for you, right? So Kay shared very valuable insights on what you need to prepare, both in your resume, the things that you have to do research and all that, and during the interview. So um yeah, and I think we have some more questions, right, from FC. So I think I have a question with regard to more of the technicalities. KB, some VAs. What people like about switching over to VA is that most of our performers in the BPO, and it's not an overwhelming majority. There are also some singles too, but it's usually these single moms. Not single moms, but those are have dependents, right? because they have the drive more, more often than not. They're more driven to perform. And once you reach a certain uh state or level of performance in the BPO, you get a plateau, right? Because we just talked about office politics and all that. So like, you've been performing, and then you reach a plateau wherein there's no opening for an SME. There's no opening for a TL or a QA in most of these BPOs, and if there are, then they're most likely gonna favor those that they like more. And you, on the other hand, are just minding your own business, making sure you hit your metrics, if not exceed them. Uh, and you just find yourself that, I'm I've done all I can, but I want to earn more because of my dependents. I have kids, I have mouths to feed, bills to pay, and all that. And BPO salary reaches a point where it wouldn't cut it anymore, right? Because you did mention starting is 15. Probably some are offering 20 and more. Like for example, there's a banking company that's captive. They can pay more, but the overwhelming majority of them are just plainly stuck in BPOs. And I can name a few of these BPOs that are um I wouldn't say they're not paying well. They're not paying their employees well. They just have a very, very low ceiling when it comes to, like, tenure. You're not getting paid, so they end up being a stepping stone for employees. So that's when they jump into VA. So they have questions, and what they like about it is that they can work from home, and be with their kids, because that's a very obvious um benefit that you can that yeah that VAs have. You can work from home, you control the time, and all that, apart from the fact that it pays more. So there are companies that provide like equipment and all that. um so how do you deal with for those who do not have uh equipment? What do they need to do? Like, if they don't have laptop, I mean, they have the skill set already. They've been in BPO skill set, but they're hesitant to, like, make the transition to VA because there are a lot of unknowns, right? But you did answer probably half of them, like matching like the skill set that you've gained. But what about the PC, or what PC do I need to have? What computer do I need to buy? A computer? Do I need to loan for a laptop?
Yeah, for that one, JR, before you take the leap, you need to invest first, right? If you really want to land to a VA role, most of them do not provide you um, the device. Maybe there are some who provide you device, but there are some that you need to prove yourself first, and before they will give you a device, right? If the client wants you, then probably they will give you a package where you can buy your own set or your home office. But if you want to start working in a VA industry, is maybe before you resign, save first for you to buy the equipment, or before you resign, you always have your friend home credit
Tala, mocha mocha,
or
one
uh,
hand.
exactly, or billets, right? I mean, for for this is not. I mean, we do not get any promotion, or we do not promote this. Just my experience. Yeah, I'm using home credit, Tala, and billets, right? So that will solve your problem. Anyway, for working in a VA industry does not require you to buy a high end spec laptop. Just at least a I3 will do. Depends, but but if your role is more on video editing, or let's say here data analytics that you are expected to handle heavy data, then of course you need to buy a high end devices. But sometimes this jobs entails high salary. Maybe you can buy your own. Um, Again, it's investment. I don't think you're new to video editing since you don't have a device and you apply for it and you will get hired, right? So I don't think that's possible. So possibly you will hired for a video editing role because you have a good device because you're doing this. You already have your portfolio, right? So it's an investment.
Right.
Yeah, imagine your local computer shop where you place in 5 peso or piso piso, and someone there is working as a VA.
I mean, actually, you can start with that one, an internet cafe, as long as you have a very good set of headset, right? Noise cancellation one, you can do your interview there. But once you get hired, make sure that you have your own device,
Right.
right?
And
I mean, I
and the
think that's a good investment, right? You take the interview, you get hired, so you know that. I mean, the best thing about BPO is you don't. I mean, VA industry is they don't have this up period. If you work on start of the month, let's say January 1, on the 15th, you will receive your salary. Sometimes they will pay you every week, right? Every Friday. So let's say you get hired because you took all of those interview through an internet cafe. Now you're hired, you need to invest for a device. If you don't have enough funds to buy an a laptop, then probably again home credit for only 20% down. Oh lol. So it's best. I would recommend instead of a PC, go for a mobile device such as a laptop, right? This is the reason. I know that your reason why you moved to a VA industry because you can work from home, right? You have the leisure to work anywhere, right? If you want to go to Siargao and work there, you can, right? So I would advise a laptop. I mean, especially if you lost internet connection, that's a very big no-no. Then you can move to any internet, I mean, any cafe for you to get connected. So there you go.
right.
Speaking of
And
devices, yeah, yeah, Starlink has a mobile radar already.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you want to settle back to your province and this and your province does not have fiber, yeah, that's a very good choice, Starlink. Again, we're
it's
not endorsing Starlink.
and probably I'd stop at home credit. The rest are just, loan sharks. I think
Yeah.
they'd slap a lot of fees. I mean, home credit is no exception, right? They're also gonna give you a barrage of phone calls when it's due date. So loan at your own risk. We're not promoting nor what do you call this? Bad mouthing these companies, but we've had some experiences wherein you could get called, right? I did remember an instance. I think it was one employee. I got a phone call from this guy saying that this and this person has a loaned them money and has not paid yet, and it was just like, I think, so when I confronted the person, the person just missed one payment, and they made a whole circus out of it. So, and I'm not saying it's home credit, it's some other loan sharks, the online digital, like, loan sharks that's doing that to them. I think it's when you download an app and then you share contacts and all that, right? So we've heard that experience. I think most of you have probably that are tuning in right now. So loan at your own risk.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean,
Also,
for that one also, they are, think home credit for home credit, huh? I don't think they will call you because you miss your payment,
payment.
uh, one payment. I think they will start calling your other contacts if you will not respond to their call and you miss your payment, but not on the first day, second day, maybe a couple of payments. But definitely they will always call you, especially near your due date, right? It's a hassle because if you will not answer them, just to tell you that, hey, your due date will be in 5 days. Can you
Yeah.
settle this bill? If you will not answer that, it will call you. It's like an automated system. Once unanswered, it will keep calling you. It's a hassle.
Yeah,
I
that's
remember
the
one time, part of HR, the reason why we don't give out our numbers anymore is because we were barraged with different, loan sharks calling, this person, do you know this person? He needs to pay, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah.
and it happens to everyone, right? Because most likely one if not a couple of your contacts have tried loaning to these people. So yeah, at your own risk, right? Make sure you review the terms and conditions before you do. Otherwise, if they're gonna do that, then you can probably complain to these companies. But hey, you're the ones who loaned. You benefited from their, like, they have a scheme, right? Like, first I'm gonna loan you 1,000 first, and then towards the due date, if you pay on time, okay, we will increase your loan limit to 2,000. And so they're gonna keep, enticing you with offers, until you can loan higher amounts, and that's when you get so. I don't know. I'm not sure if that's tempting to people, but at the end of the day, it's still debt, right? And this is not
Correct.
the US, and having debt can benefit you. Having debts here are disadvantages.
He gets your picture in social media blasted.
Mm. Yeah. Also for that one, just to remind everyone, there's a part there that you will mention because I'm a pro, no, in terms of this. Lol. Especially the the loan sharks where they will ask you to pay 20% every week, right? Keep away from those. Even though that we did this too. I only put there as a reference those people that who know that I'm doing this and they know that, I mean, like imuang kakunchabo in short. So that by the time that you will not be able to pay it because you have plans, because you know you can do the first one, second one, but and during the time you borrowed money, you really need it. But in terms that they can help you, they're trying to squeeze you. So you know that okay, abot lang ang oras, bantay ka lang. So you put there those people that you are okay for them to call you, but be mindful. Remember when you open the app, you probably press a lot of yeses there. They
Mm,
already took all your contact. So you might be wondering, why did they call my mom? I did not put my mom's number because they search your contact and you approve it.
yeah,
There's a is there's a question there. App would like to access your contact.
yeah. And if you say
So
yes,
yes, if you say yes, they have your contact. If you say no, you cannot proceed to to get the money. So loan at your own risk.
Anyway, going back to from the VA and the BPO. One question that I would like to ask is that in terms of career growth, which would be better? Uh, do you go for the VA or you go to BPOs? Because in my mind, if you're a VA, you stuck being a VA. There's no career ladder or career growth to go up on. Aside from the BPO, we know that if you do good as an agent, you become a TL. If you do good as a TL, you can become a manager and so on and so forth, or even a trainer or what. So yeah.
Actually, um, to answer your question, they're both the same.
Mhm.
Because unless if let's say here you want to be a executive assistant, and I'm sure that in terms of executive assistant, you will be an executive assistant forever, right? There will be no growth for that because you are supporting the CEO of the company. So the why do you want to be promoted first? That's the question. Are you here for the money or self actualization that you are? I mean, you've reached to be a manager, right? But if you're really aftering for money, then BPO, I'll go for a VA because you can multitask. You can have two jobs at the same time because you are working at home and the pay is far better compared to in as an agent. So let's say you're if this is a new applicant and now he's thinking to join a BPO or a VA industry. If you're a new applicant, probably in a VA industry, you can land as much as 50K, but in a BPO, you will land as a 20. So you need to have a lot of years, right? Experience, especially in an established BPO company. But if you join a company that is somehow still on a startup stage, then probably you can grow there. Same goes with the VA industry. If you apply for, let's say as a patient coordinator, and the company is just starting up. Once you grow, definitely you will grow too, right? So the problem with the BPO industry, you don't have any hold in terms of the program or the company's growth. You can impact less, especially if you are an agent. But in a VA industry, you can really help the company grow, right? By performing, right? Or by being proactive. So I do understand that I am a new to a VA industry. I've been in a month for this industry. It's an healthcare account, but they saw that I'm stepping in as a leader, right? Although I am older than the rest of the team by a week, but I help them. I help them create the process, right? This is what I have noticed. I help the newcomers in terms of assigning tasks because for me to have an organization, because we don't have queue system who will get first. So I assign them, I help them. I'll do this, you work on that. I'll take care of this, you work on that. So they saw it. So after a month, I was assigned as their leader who manage all the shift. They call it a team lead, but not into a legal way pa. Murag, take the lead lang sa muna while we are still growing. So although there's no pay yet, but probably if we do good, if since there's only four of us for now, maybe once we grow, then you will be the best fit. So depends on how you can help them. So so for me, parang parihara depends on the situation, what industry that you are in.
Right. I mean, yeah, it's up to you, Rajud, how you perform the kind of determines you'll how you go determines how you grow, diba? My
Yeah,
personal take on that is that depends really on what your goal is. If you're it doesn't matter how old you are, or you're younger, or you're probably at your 30s, or you're probably settling down now, yeah, 30s and 40s and all that. Um, it depends really on your goal. If is your goal um making it up the career ladder? Yes, you can. I mean, everyone in the BPO aims for that. I think probably a rare 10-20% or probably less aims to or just wants to be at their current level, or just want to be like ranks, taking in phone calls, right? But the rest, the majority would want to move up the ladder. And yeah, experience wise, it's mostly the BPO can give you that if you perform like easily. But it also depends on which BPO you're from, right? The bigger the BPO, the harder it is to move up the or no, let me rephrase it. The bigger the BPO, the more I think you'd have to do to get noticed and move up. Whereas the smaller the BPO, which kind of translates to a similar VA setting as well, right? Like
correct.
small size BPO, like if you like, especially that does outbounds calls. The more you perform, the more I mean the you don't have to exert a whole lot of effort by just simply performing. Your performance can get noticed right away from not just the TLs, but the managers, the senior managers, all the way up. Your contributions will be noticed even to the owners, right? So
Right,
depends. But on the other hand, if you don't, you don't, you're not looking at growing on paper, but in terms of titles, positions, and status, if all you really care about is the money, then you go for VA, because you're not just tied to one job. You can apply for another. um Although it has its pros and cons, which we're probably not gonna talk here, right? um like whether or not you're gonna go for one, two clients. Do you want to multitask and juggle three clients? That's a topic for another episode, right? But
all right.
money is really there, right? And like what Ken said, it's up to you. Are you gonna, no, sorry, Kay, if you wanna stay as a VA, you're getting your pay, you're helping out the client in any way you can, just to your level, then that's what you're gonna get, right? But if you're presented with a situation, and just like every promotion, it's not just you kanang doing hard without, or working hard without, because it's not just working hard will get you promoted. There has to be chance and circumstance. The situation must be present for that to become available, right? So because unsa man pa na nimo diag paningkamot, kung di ra gyud pa na makita sa client, o dili ra gyapon na siya needed ang kana nga role, because at the end of the day it's still business also, then pretty much you're gonna stay there, and you're gonna parang wala lagi pa yung promotion. But what Kay cited earlier sa yung experience, he made the position possible because he was proactive enough to like present it to the owners, although not yet officially, not yet on paper, but things like that can happen. It definitely is up to you.
Correct. Thank
So,
you, JR.
so in short, like it's if you're in a VA position, it's high impact but little
High
less
quality,
opportunity.
high impact.
compared to BPO, then the BPO is low impact. There are a lot of opportunities. Yeah,
Yeah,
makes
I
sense.
mean the best thing with the VA industry is if you have let's say here if you really help them and they will get no I mean you will get notice. The one who will get notice is the CEO or the major decision maker. So they are not biased, right? Oh, this person really helped me a lot. So most probably you will
Mm.
get I mean they will recognize you. Maybe they do not need the I mean a new promotion, but they can increase your pay, they can give you bonuses, right? So let's say here if you are really performing and they earn a lot, they will give you a share, right? Oh, we did well last month, Ken, KB, sorry, uh we did well
Yeah.
last month. We reached 250K for that month. As a bonus, we'll give you $1,000. So they do that because they're the major stakeholder here. Unlike in a BPO industry, you did well. Your team lead noticed you, and that's it, right? There's
In the
nothing that they
BPO,
can do.
if in the BPO industry, if you do well, you get a pizza.
Correct. A pizza, right, from your team lead, right? So there, your manager might not be able to notice it for you to get promoted. You still need to prove yourself during application for the role, right? So it's but in a BPO I mean in a VA industry, there's a lot of perks too.
Right.
And we do have a lot of experience, right, Kay and JR, about people promoted because of
Politics,
favoritism, politics, and all
Right.
that.
but not
Yeah.
in a VA industry. It's they always go for result.
And I agree. You can never avoid politics in business. It's always there. It's just
So there's this
um,
person called let's just give the her SM initials.
Not
so,
her. It can
this
be
person likes to
her
suck up.
and him, right?
Oh yes, yes. To make it gender neutral, her and him. But the
Yeah.
person's initial is SM. So that you guys K and FC will
It
know.
can be
This person
LL,
likes
right?
to
It can be
so
also
that
LL
no, no, like these people like to suck up to their to whoever's the head honcho, right, of
or the
uh
LR.
the
Diba?
the LR,
You
not
know
LL,
someone?
LR.
LR. LR,
Yes, yes.
LR, yeah.
Um, I think LR is more deceitful than a suck up. The
Mm.
SM is more on is more of the lapdog, the suck up kind of
Kahit
person.
ka problem.
Likes to likes to play the teacher's pet, so that this person can also bully people underneath them, right? So
Right.
I think that's this person's kanang style is usually to suck up whoever's the head honcho. Sometimes this person would like or um identifies where that person lives, whoever's, if it's a GM or senior manager or what have you. If you're the big shit in, excuse my language, if you're that person, then most likely SM will be all up your ass. And LR on the other hand, it's a little bit uh also like that. He likes to um deceive people, even on even day one, even before he's not an employee to that company, he's already being deceitful,
Correct.
because he likes to fabricate his resume, this guy. right?
And I heard
So
he's running for, oh,
yeah, for
senator,
politics.
right?
Uh, but we don't talk about politics here. But yes, that
Yeah.
person is running for politics,
Oh,
uh, bringing that same kind of like deceptive behavior. So we're not gonna, you know,
he
ruin his day.
fits right in with all those politics who lies and he fits really he really fits in.
Right. Looks like you have the right set of core values. We want you in. We want you in the team. So, I'm not saying that everyone is like that, but there are those who are. Earlier, you also did mention about, you know, uh okay, he did mention about sabbatical. So there was this, and it reminds me of one manager. Yeah, the good thing about being not in a big call center, right? Or in a big BPO, the mid-size BPOs is that you know everyone, and rumors and the chica really spread really really fast, right? Like, so it just so happened that this guy, um let's just call him R. He's the replacement for LR, right? So R replaced L uh, in that same post. So they were managers. So because this LR guy was really really worse at his job, man. He likes to pretend that he's good, but he's not really taking care of his people. In fact, he instigates like arguments, and likes to like talk behind talk negatively against these people behind their backs,
That's like
against um like like stories and all that. So if you want, we can talk more about that. But the good thing was this guy left, LR left, and then so people were happy because this R guy replaced and came in towards the middle of the pandemic, right? So yeah, so everyone is hopeful. There was really, really genuine hope for this department that he's replacing. And it turns out that he's really good. Likes to really, he talks more smarter than LR, definitely, because LR just Google stuff. But R really does have some substance. But later on, as months go by, or no, no, not just months, probably a year or so. Um, he started, you know, dating one of his downlines, so one of his direct reports. I mean, this guy's already married. He was married during his tenure with the company. He got married, so he started, and then a few months later, this guy got married, right? And then months after, there have been rumors circulating that this guy is dating, allegedly, uh, that they're dating, but it's not alleged anymore because he confirmed it during his last day. So the poor wife didn't know about it, right? So that there was an affair going on. So after the affair, I mean, during the affair, everyone found out, and the owners don't like things like that, right? Because these are traditional people, and they say that it's bad for business, quote unquote, to have things like that. It's kind of chaotic, really. So like everyone's perception of him was so high, really went down, because of that incident.
Ah,
The company.
definitely.
Right. So as I was saying, so why is it connected to like sabbatical? It was really funny because um So everyone found out about it. His perception really dropped. People used to think highly of this guy, and then all of a sudden they hear that he's been um doing uh nasty things behind his wife's back, and he's having an affair with one of his direct reports. So when they found out, the management found out, then he was forced to resign. So he took the money. He was paid more, I think, or for 2 months, I think, if I'm not mistaken, 2 months worth of salary, just for him to leave, because there was no consensus. But before they get to that point, there was an offer for him to, just stop doing that, right? It's because that's the cheaper way, and why wouldn't we go through the cheaper way? So stop doing that. And apparently and obviously it did not happen, because they ended up paying him just to for so, okay, if you're not gonna do that, or if you're not gonna stop doing that, then we're gonna pay you, so you're no longer connected to this company. So if you want to keep doing that, so it turns out that he does want to keep doing that. And uh, just as so both of them resigned on the same day. And then afterwards, this guy who's still married to another person told the wife that, hey, I'm gonna go on a sabbatical leave, because things haven't been good in the office. So the poor little wife just took it as it is, and then okay. So I really feel sad for the wife.
Instead of there's a lot of bad things going on, there's a lot of good things going on at the office. All right. So, but how he positioned it to his wife is there's a lot of bad things going on, but for him, it was a good thing, right?
So yeah, and I'm not sure where he is at right now, but God bless his soul.
Yeah.
I think
Do you have
probably
any
in the
idea?
same region. You have an idea?
No, no. I was asking if you have any idea.
No, but last I heard was probably in the same region of the country as SM. They're probably down south, uh, south of Queen City of the South.
Mm.
Right. So yeah, I think do we have FC back?
Yeah, I just remember when you talk about affairs, I had this one experience wherein um he was a sales agent. Then something happened, or they had an affair with because this guy is I think he has a live-in partner, but he also has like three other women who he has children with. Then and he's still um confident enough to have an affair with his living partner with our um CEO. Now they start it started with just uh like a
After shift.
sales, yeah, after shifting, going out, karaoke and a beer. Then one thing led to another. Those guys were already doing the deed everywhere. And um, from a sales agent who has nothing to show at a time, no has no sales at all. He has this, but not really that uh, good. He became a team lead, Then after a
Mm.
team lead, he became a junior manager, and then he eventually he was a manager. Um, but what happened to the company? It was when they I don't know when they started doing it. That was the time when the company is going down. So it's really like a bad omen when you place in those things in business.
I don't know
I mean,
why
you
what qualified that person to be an CEO, but
exactly.
go.
I don't know.
Yeah.
In her
Yeah.
defense, before they started dating, she was listening to me. She was consulting. I was consulting her on how to go about this and that and that. That we were a good tandem because she started out as a manager. Then when I started, and we implemented some policies, processes, and all that, she became the CEO. Um, but
Mm.
when
Yeah.
again, when they started doing it in the Philippines, doing it in Europe, doing it in America, that's when the company went downhill.
Mm. Yeah. I think that's same with my experience, no? This is in a VA industry. There's a VA, and the VA got promoted to be a executive assistant of the CEO. And so of course the CEO will visit Philippines. And then since she is the VA, then she insists that I mean they will see each other, right? They work together because the CEO is here in the Philippines. So instead that the CEO will book for a two rooms, a bedroom or a separate room, she insisted na to to make it cheap, we, we can stay in one bedroom or in a studio unit. So that's what happened. So after a few months, maybe there's something happened. And after a few months, um, there is something going on now. We can really say that why is this executive assistant is so empowered until such time she was promoted to a director. So try to imagine the leap, like, 'di ba? From a VA to an executive assistant and to a director, and she doesn't have any idea for uh, what the business is all about or the how will work ba. And she's leading the director for the client services manager team, which is she doesn't have an idea how to deal with them. So there you go. That's what happened. But there's one senior manager, so all she need to do is delegate tasks, delegate tasks, delegate tasks. So I think if you hire a wrong people for your business, then you will really going south. Uh,
Definitely,
I think that's pretty much common in a BPO industry too, right? Where account are being closed. So I have remember I will not mention the company, but he was our assistant director for the company. Has been into a lot of companies from, but what we heard that he jumps from one company to another once the account will close. So until such time he joined our organization, he wanted to be a director, but there's no opening for the director. But their account closed. It's a telco account. Start with L, ends with Tra. So so he joined our organization as assistant director. Um, the uh the 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 VP already told director, if you want to hire this person, it's on you. It's up to you. I will not. I mean, the senior director. I don't. I do not play part of it. But if something will happen to that, it's on you. So he hired him because during the interview, I can do this, I can do that, I can do this, and this director is very tapulan. What he wants is pachoy-choy sa opisina, a little bit of inspirational talk, and that's it, right? So it ended up
It's like
the
LR.
assistant. Yeah, yeah. So so what happened is doesn't really have the skills or the leadership, right? But 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 he's very good at engagement. He's very good at engagement. This is why he always solidify the his caption na I am a culture builder because he really built a culture based on engagement to keep the people, those things, but doesn't have the skill set to be a leader. Imagine we close an account, then blame na po ka. Probably the account closed because of him. Lacks the skill and the leadership. But
Mm.
keep him in power to solidify his position. He hire people that he knows. These will become his minion. So hire those people from start with Tal and ends with Pra to solidify it. So he is now giving these people, I mean, delegating the operation side. But the problem is these people are also incompetent. That's a problem. So eventually, when I left, I heard there's a lot of account closed because of this person, and eventually he left the company along with the director because and then they moved to a very small organization here in Pine Tree. Uh,
And diyan na po sila
Mopro,
asik ng lagim.
yes, yes. So the role as a director, he hires those minions for that organization. So he bring all his minions with him. So this is a small company. So probably dito na po sa maglasik o hasik o gamit. But it's a very good strategy high in terms of solidifying his position because he knows that he doesn't have the skills. So
I
there
mean,
are leaders like this.
they can only do that. They can only do that for limited or for
Yes.
certain amount of time. So man, siguro like sooner or later, people know because not everyone is like them. They things like the industry is like that. And it's a recurring theme where people make decisions based on emotions and not really thinking logically, but will this be good for the business? That should be the first question to ask. But some of these people that they hire with you, they hire emotionally just because they kind of like the person. Emotions can be manipulated, can be.
Yes. Agree.
That's
I think,
why.
Palo, this is yes. Go ahead.
Yeah, go go go.
Yeah, I think this is the problem in the BPO industry because the people who hires these people are also employees. They do not care. They have KPI that they need to hire this person, right? Or to look for this role or employee, right? So they do not care if they really filtered it correctly, right? Or this person's really fit or just lying, right? For in fairness with the assistant director that we hired during time, is very effective, right? Uh, like what he's trying to do is get a higher position and experience stay there. It doesn't mean that he gain knowledge, but number of years experience, then jump to a higher position. So he's very effective. We found out that at Tally with Tech with the last one, he was a he got the I think senior team lead then when moved to Telstra as a CSM, then moved to our company as a assistant director. Finds a way. Kanang naging paugat gid mo kanang diri ra gid ko ana kanang killing the time gid na mo maka-experience ko diri. I can stay more here than after 2 years of experience or almost a year of experience. I'll jump. Yeah, I remember assistant director to a director. I know this because when he submitted his resume to this new company now, the one of the recruiter sent us a copy of the resume because um, one of the team leads is a best friend of the recruiter. So she asked, and I mean the recruiter asked, "Can you validate this if this is true?"
Mm.
So we found out that the number of years staying on our organization is not true. We find, I mean, wa pa siya nag-year, but she mentioned there na more than a year na. He mentioned it na more than a year na siya, but he was still at 6 months. We checked the join date is not correct. Mark iyang giatras, and we found out na almost more than a year, more than a year. The jump siya. And so he's very effective. I'm getting the role what he wants. And the problem with this person, he is very, very good at engagement. But
Mm.
if engagement that includes like I mean engagement such as beauty fashion, that's what he's a married guy. He had a kid, he's straight, but doesn't look one. Uh but he always in a meeting, he always have his son with him, right? Aba, dili man na professional, right? This is a
Yeah.
side meeting or an organization event. Why do you have always your son at your side? But the problem along with this person, okay, if it's engagement, he loves engagement, but if it's female fashion show, he just sit there, watch. But if it's male fashion show, he wants it take off the shirt, then go around taking pictures and video. So and some says also that they're trying to what happened? Someone message. There's one team lead there. Baby boy. Uh, someone message if he wants shoes. I don't know you. Why would I? There, but eventually during Cascade, because during Cascade he saved the number, right? He saved that number. So during Cascade, that was the number. Okay, we found out. Ah, okay. It's the assistant director who messaged you. He forgot that he messaged you or you book I mean you phone book the number. Well, sabi ka kung ano, kabuang dito.
Yeah, it's a very interesting. I mean, yeah, at the end of the day, these are just people, and they have certain, probably when they reach a certain level, they believe that they can do whatever they want. But at the end of the day, they're still just employee. Sooner or later,
Correct.
the things they do will catch up to them.
Pero like good, JR, if the leader that naani mo ba has the passion yun for the organization to help the organization for your downlines, right? Versus your passion is selfish lang. You want the role because of your selfish reason, right? Without thinking all those people below you, right? Which is if you do this, they might lose their job, right? So that's for me lang, siguro, which is I think it can never be gone. I mean, for me, it's not acceptable. There's a lot of leaders like that, right? There, I mean, the reason why they apply for this, the reason why they work for this, why there's politics, right? Because of their selfish needs.
Right. Any more to add? FC,
No, I'm good.
you're good. How about you, Kay?
But I'm good until next time.
All right. I think that's a wrap, guys, everyone, right? So that's a wrap for this episode of Slam, Stress Less and Automate More. We'd like to thank Kay for sharing us his insights on applying um, in BPO and to transitioning to the VA role. And we hope you picked up some valuable tips to help you navigate today's fast paced work environment. Whether you're working remotely or in the office, remember the goal is to work smarter, not harder. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, and share it with your coworkers. You got a topic you'd like us to cover? Reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, keep slamming your way to a more productive and stress free work life. Bye.
Well,
Bye bye.